Welcome back to the Gold Brand channel. We got something really exciting, really big today. This is going to be a 1, 2, maybe 3-part video series, probably just 2. Anyway, we have a life-size Luffy statue. We're going to be fully prepping. It's already mostly printed at this stage, but I can go into some of that. Prepping, putting it together, sanding, everything, and then finally painting on its own video. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, typically on this channel, we just do resin statues around the 6 and 4th scale type size. But we took on a big job here. We moved to plastic, which I haven't done before. So we got 3 Centauri carbons to print all this. This is not all the pieces, by the way. We still have a lot of the base. And yes, that is correct. We are printing the base in its full scale as well. And that's going to be massive. Now, for the actual plastic, we're using standard PLA Elegoo 1.75, just standard PLA. It's not PLA Plus or PLA Rapid or anything like that. It's not PETG, it's just standard run-of-the-mill PLA, the cheapest one there is. And for the software to chop it up into the pieces that you see before you, we used Lubin. You can join for 1 month free. It's a pretty excellent software that allows you to chop these bits up into manageable sizes for your printer. And yeah, it has a bunch of other features too. Like it adds these dowels. You can add as many of these as you want. I've only got 2 on these. I had to do a bit of a learning curve, but I would add maybe 4 or 5 of these now, knowing more what I know now. But that's where these come from, if you're wondering. And these are also just printed. You can just print like 100 of these at a time. That's just the little dow bits that go in. And yeah, as you can see, I've already started joining several pieces and puttying them over. So I'll just go over quickly. When it comes to putting them together, we're just using this 2-part epoxy glue. This is a cheap one from Bunnings. You'd have to go to like whatever your local hardware store is if you're in America. So 2-part, so you just put it in a cup, mix it up, and then it becomes a really strong glue, but it takes a long time to set, so you're gonna need clamps. I've got about 5 or 6 of these lying around. I use them on every piece. Once it is glued, or even while it's still drying, I then take one of these. This is a soldering iron. This is just a cheap garbage one, 15 bucks. And you just apply that to the seams with the goal of melting it over. Now this is a pretty ugly side. I'm a bit better and a bit smoother at it now. But when you melt those together, you're just creating an even stronger bond. And then once you do that, we sand it down. We're adding putty. This is automotive putty, by the way. I believe it's called blade putty. If you are trying to find some at a local shop, it'll be under blade putty, and it is an automotive type, so you'd probably have to go to a car shop to find that. And then over here on some of the hands, I've already tried blending the joins in. This one's working pretty good. As you can see, there's just a little bit of some marks there, but we're getting there. Another couple rounds of sanding and that'll be good. And then we've got to apply that to everything. Torso is already put together. Legs for the most part. We'll go over the legs really soon and how I'm joining those. And I'm also waiting on the pants. These are already put together, obviously. But we have a lot to do. And getting straight into a bit of mixing, I have the 2-part epoxy here. Just gonna squirt that just back into the container it comes from. Suck a bit out. Mix, just with cotton tip, whatever. apply. All right, and I have my dowels already in. This is just going to be a simple plug in, like so. And then I'm going to get my clamps on there. Okay, I've got a big ass clamp covering that whole thing. Pushing down, applying constant pressure. And then what I'm going to do mixing up a batch here of the epoxy glue, and I've just, as you can see, I've already done a lot, but slowly applying more. I'm going to be taking up this area, and I think I'm going to have to buy a different glue because this one, first of all, smells like rotten eggs. I think they've got like a bad batch or something going, because it usually doesn't smell like this. And it coagulates and turns into jelly really quick, so I can only really get one use out of it, which is what I'm doing now. So may have to migrate to a different glue. I've still got 6 or so things left to use, so I'll use those and we'll go from there. It's kind of become a little unstable. A lot of these pieces are now slightly uneven, they're not perfectly flat. And that just kind of comes with the territory of having so many different pieces. So that sucks, but it doesn't matter too much because we can fix that up later. Just trying to keep as many pieces level as I can with these big ones. Now, it is slightly uneven here, but like I said, it doesn't matter. We'll take the soldering iron and we'll just glaze over every join, put some putty, do a little bit of sand, and it should be fine because it is just the floor. Like it is just the base and it's rocks, so it's not like a perfectly smooth surface. We have to get back to smooth. It's already rocky. So we should be able to patch all that up pretty good. All right, I got my limbs here and just some 120. Actually, sorry, I think it's 240 grit. And this is the 3rd or 4th layer of doing this. I'm just gonna take it off now. Gently, I don't wanna go past that layer. It feels pretty good. Now, when we do cover this again, sorry if that's really bright, those tiny little stipples there are still gonna show up, but we'll see how noticeable they are once the primer's on. And this is the current state of the base. We still got pretty much all the cloudy bits, but most of the actual land part is done. We've got some pretty devious cracks here I'm gonna have to fill, and it's given me a little bit of trouble. It's taken a little longer than I would have liked. So I've primed these multiple times over, sanded them multiple times over, and I think I'm finally ready to shoot some paint on these. So there's the quick little once over. I didn't sand the hair because I don't think it matters that much. It's hair, it kind of like adds to the texture, I guess, but the skin's pretty smooth, as you can see. And the teeth should be fine once they're covered in white. And also the body, I have to double do the legs. I have to sand them a bit more yet. And I also remembered that there's a couple of pieces missing from that I haven't printed. I got no idea which ones they are until I've put everything together and I can see what's missing. I just know that one boot piece is missing. So I'm just going to quickly squirt some paint over this and show you what I'm using. Managed to find these. I was a little worried about what I was going to do with the skin tones, but this is from Vallejo in a rattle can, and that is the color and code if you are interested. All right, let's give it a go. And this is after he's been fully covered. Now it's kind of hard to get a grasp on if this is a good color without the rest of it being colored in, like his eyes and his hair, because that contrast is what gives you the, you know, the scope of where you're at. But pretty decent, I think. There's a bit more of a pinkish hue on it than what the camera's showing, I think. But yeah. And probably gonna end the video here. This is just taking a super long time. I'm gonna probably be finished the painting of Luffy himself before I finish doing this. So this is where I'm up to currently. My wife's been helping me. So we're starting to get the clouds sorted, but there's still 20 odd cloud pieces. So once they're on, I glue, I solder and sand. We'll do some of the painting on that in the next video. As you can see, very pale. I did test out a second tone, and that tone is Barbarian Flesh color primer from Army Painter. This is much closer to what we want, so I'm glad I went out and got that. I'm probably going to use what we used here as like a highlight over this, and then yeah, I mean, we'll sort it out in the painting video, but we'll do stuff in the recesses of the skin as well. But that's kind of where I am with this little test that I did. I'm still filling. I got more putty, and we're still going back and just filling those little seams that I noticed. Like, it's getting less and less noticeable, but I am still finding myself going back. Like here, I can kind of still see that now. So I'll probably fill that in again and just spray primer over it again. But yeah, that's probably it for now. Like, there's nothing new for me to show you from here until I'm completely done this. It's just the same thing over and over again. So I'll do an overview when we move on to the proper painting in the next video. Projects lined up for the future. There'll be some videos here. Some of these are going to be just on my Discord, so be sure to join my Discord to see projects like this in action. No video for that. I just knocked that out by myself, and he's getting cooked up as well. And yeah, join the Discord. Peace.